if you sign an Argentinian centre back, they've got to be aggro. That's just it. That's part and parcel of it. If he turned up and he was lovely and polite, you'd be like, "What are you doing? That's not what we signed,
What we signed
up for."
here. We have to return this guy. This is insane. But one player I do want to speak to you more about than probably I've ever spoken about him in my life, Eric Dier. Talk to me about that, Joe. How has he got this re-emergence? The re-emergence of Eric Dier's coming at the right time with an England call-up and potentially making that World Cup squad as well.
Do you know
How's
what?
that going to happen?
He's my favourite Spurs player.
Seriously,
I got a real soft spot. But you know, you get those players, and I don't get me wrong. He's by no means is he the most talented player in the team, but I've just got a soft spot for him.
Is it because he scored that penalty against Colombia?
Oh my God, that was literally. I spent my lifetime crying over England losing in penalty shootouts, and the man to banish that demon was Eric Dier.
Of all the people in the England squad to do it, Eric Dier. I love it. It's fantastic.
Of all the people in England, full stop. Like, it's crazy.
That's so much, man. Oh no, Eric Dier. But no, it's such a yeah. So why is he your favorite player? What's he done for you this season that kind of captivated not just you and the fans, but what's he kind of done to kind of change that from last season?
But do you know what? He also I also read an article about him where his hobby is he keeps an allotment. So he grows vegetables, right? And I mean, any footballer that grows vegetables is all right in my book. Also, I don't know. I suppose he's exercised the right attitude, which so many footballers are quick to throw their toys out the pram. So many elite level footballers are quick to throw their toys out the pram, and kind of want to leave the club, want to move on, instead of turning around and looking and going, "Well, hang on, maybe I'm doing something wrong." And I don't know if Dele Alli's a good example of this. He's a bit of a mystery to me, but they look for a move because they think it's the coach's fault and they're not getting the chances they should. Eric Dier sat tight. He played a lot under Pochettino. He played in midfield a lot for Pochettino. Then he got dropped, barely got in the team for 2 years. Jose Mourinho liked him, put him back in the team. And do you know what? He's got certain qualities. Like, yeah, he's not. I mean, we mentioned Maldini and Ferdinand. He's not the classiest centre-back you're ever going to see. He's not the kind of guy who's going to stay on his feet constantly and looks beautiful on the ball. And you think, oh my God, you could play anywhere on the pitch. But he's a leader. When you go and watch Spurs, particularly if you're sat close to the pitch, he's constantly just talk. Hugo Lloris is talking to everybody, and Eric Dier is talking to everybody, like pulling people back into position, shouting at people when they're out of position. And also, he's big, he's strong, good in the air, super brave. And one thing he can do, admittedly, he tries it 10 times a game and it comes off 1 out of 10. He does have quite a decent over-the-top through ball in him. And it's a ball that Conte looks for a lot. I think he's benefited a lot from playing in a back three, because you've got Ben Davies next to you, who's just super reliable. Like, not an amazing player, but just reliable.
And he's also someone that can bomb forward as well, being a left back by trade. Exactly. He's someone that can increase with the passing angles as well, being a left footer as well. So it gives Eric Dier that more freedom to rather step into midfield or to hold it back as a sweeper as well, like we've seen this season as well.
I think there's also an element of, and I don't mind Davinson Sanchez, he's fine. He's not as bad as a lot of Tottenham fans make out, but Cristian Romero is a huge step up. Yeah. And with Romero next to him, instead of having to cover for Sanchez's mistakes and maybe second guessing, you know that Romero's fine and he's got you. So it allows Dier to play a bit more of his natural game. And yeah, and I also just think like he's a great example to top level footballers of how patience can pay off. And he's back in the England team now.
100%. No, it's really good to see how Eric Dier's got back into it as well. And any centre back that gets into the England squad that hopefully pushes out Harry Maguire is a win for me.
Oh, poor old Harry.
Nah, no poor old Harry. Not poor old Harry at all. Nah, this guy is not, I'm not his biggest fan. I've never really been his biggest fan at Manchester United. And I know he does really well for England. And I know he gets a lot of praise in the media. But when you see him week in, week out for Manchester United, and you're just kind of there like, this is not the guy that we want. So when Cristian Romero shouted in Harry Maguire's face last season, when he scored that own goal, I wasn't against it, but I wasn't for it, if you know what I mean. So I didn't mind it that he had a shout at Harry Maguire as well.
I think as well, there's an element of, if you sign an Argentinian centre back, they've got to be aggro. That's part and parcel of it. If he turned up and he was lovely and polite, you'd be like, "What are you doing? That's not what we signed
here. We have to return this guy. This is insane."
Like when he was screaming at Reece James against Chelsea and pulling Cucurella's hair, it's just like, I don't condone it, but that's sort of what I want.
It's in the nature, basically. That's just how it is. That's what we signed up for. Marcus Rojo was another one. Lisandro Martinez as well.
Remember Javier Mascherano as well.
Gabriel Heinz. Oh, Mascherano's a menace. He probably still is a menace. Probably menacing people back in Argentina as well. I think he's playing. It's crazy to see. Gabriel Heinze was another
Yeah.
one. You're looking at a lot of these defenders that come to the Premier League and they're being Argentine. They have to stamp their authority, and that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
what it is with Sergio Romero. And it's really good to see how it kind of goes about it. But yeah, now we'll move on to like our main topic. So for everyone listening, from our